Talk about if it ain't making money, ain't nothing to talk about. Keep my mind on them stacks, cause that green give you cloud. If it's bread making, baby, I'ma always throw that down. I done put my work in the streets, rapping shot on these beats. A lazy man don't stop, but when I'm always gon' eat. Everybody can't do what I do, that's why I'm pushing the crew. From Chi-Town, Memphis, Tennessee, and all through the Lou. I'm so fresh and so new, got a hot album too. I came out of nowhere, I'm taking all of these suckers' juice.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Out my nose, I'm staying focused, man, with 1,000,000 copies sold. Say my name. What's my name? Say my name.
This Chicago, nigga.
Stayed on my green. I ain't never gonna let nobody talk me out of rolling with my team. Y'all know what I mean. They see things. They think they can outsmart you by selling you a dream. But I stay grinding cause I'm bread making, homie. And they can't figure me out because they really don't know me. You got that paper, show me. My mama didn't name me Toby. These suckers want slaves, but I'm shaking them like Kobe. It's real in the field. I'm on the mill. I'm that hollow point tip, pointing at you, ready to kill. These suckers better chill. Ask Brother Will. The king is in the building, so you haters take a meal. Say my name.
Stop it, cap.
What's my name? Say my name. No bullshit, bro.
Well. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Y'all are on the D block for real with Bro Claude. Listen, man, I'm gonna just tell y'all and get it on out. Should Caitlin Clark retire? Now. At this point right now, the conversation I will have on my panel with my main man, MDT, and my brother from another mother, MSL, we will talk about today, we're going to talk about today who Captain Engelbert named the real, true face of the WNBA, because she is the captain of the ship, and that's why I gave her Captain Engelbert. She's in the front of everything. And should Captain Engelbert, as she rides this boat, navigate through the hard waters and the territories that comes to pass, the rising tides of racism, the rising tides of disrespect, congressional officers and all putting their hands in this game that we love of basketball. Welcome to the Gingerbread Man Show. This is Steady Service Sports, ENT, an extension of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast with my main man, K-Sap. What's going on, K-Sap? What's happening? What's going on to the full court trio? Shout out to the Players Club. Y'all just saw us call that tempo game along with the Baby Mystics, you know what I'm saying, the Young and Turk. And the Young and Turk did their job. Let me tell you something, y'all. I like watching good ball games. And I like also calling good ball games. And I would say what you're going to see off of Get That Off Your Chest, you're going to see me and Brother K-Sap go at it on the show and hit the real main things about this progress in the WNBA and the regress and the digression of the WNBA. Because when you have so many different vocal points and you can put out petitions for players not to play defense on a other player, there's a problem. There's a problem in Houston on the launch. Angel Reese ascends from the mud and continues to navigate herself to the top totem pole in the W for as being a great leader, being a great responder to negativity, being a source of energy, a glue piece for anyone to build up off of. Angel Reese has become the right side of the coin, and everybody knows and watch how she's actually rising to the top. Like the song, keep on rising to the top. Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to my people. I see you in here, Bob Jones. I see you, my baby T Air. Love you for always supporting me, believing in me, being here at this show. MR, I got your comments, man. I appreciate you always staying in the comments and keeping everything regulated in the comment section. Man, I really appreciate you so much. My brother from another mother, Brian Lewis. MDT is in the building. MSL is in the building. Yeah, TW is here. Hey, Revenue T, my listen, my favorite up in here, doing what she does. Troy Hall, what's happening? What's going on with everybody that's here and present? Look, y'all, we got a show tonight. We got a real good debate show tonight. We got a show that I put on just for you guys. Bless One. You know I love you, Bless One. You already know. Listen, y'all, I'm going to just tell y'all this, and I'm going to keep it funky for y'all. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, and I'm going to let y'all know exactly where am I coming from. Because the political side suggests that the WNBA should not be playing games the way they play games. What do you mean by that, bro, Claude? They talking about protecting and Caitlin Clark. Yeah and no. I don't think that there's a place nowhere for disrespect, racism, and politicians being in basketball. I don't think that there should ever be a situation where there is people and players happen to go through this type of thing. Well, we already know that Chelsea Gray, in real time, Chelsea Gray got called racial slurs. The fan was fired and found by his employer or a Fever fan. Like I told you, the Fever fans are tired. The Fever fans are exhausted. They are tired of the Caitlin Clark clan, and they don't want any part of it. They don't want nothing to do with it. As you can see, a fan who allegedly sent a racist message to Las Vegas Aces guard Chelsea Gray on social media has been fired by his employer. Gray said in her post that she received the message after the Aces lost to the Indiana Fever on Sunday. You figure if somebody lost a game, there's no reason for a fan to even be messaging the loser outside of "we beat you, we got you tonight." But no, they had to go to the next level. They had to go to the next exchange. They had to go to the next street. They had to go across the street and put out what really is going on and exposing the fan base that Caitlin Clark really has. Hey, she wins. I see you in the building, Jabari. I see y'all. Come on in, hit the like button. This is a juicy show. We gonna get it off. In MSL, I told you and I promised you, you was going to get off all of your points tonight. MDT, you're going to get off all of your points tonight. I got a Angel Reese fan and advocate, and I also got an Indiana Fever fan that's going to come up on the panel, and we're going to talk, and then you already know I am a Angel Reese diehard fan of righteousness, meaning that I advocate for the good parts and the great parts that Angel Reese brings to the table, and I also criticize things that can be done better. That's just the way I see it, and that's the way that I'm going to see it. But the baby goat has been under a tremendous onslaught of disrespect. The baby goat has always kept her head up high, her nose forward, and her eyes in front. This is a situation where Angel Reese, of the last 3 years since she has won a title, a natty, has been harassed, disrespected, mistreated, and despised by people that don't even know her, that people that never watched her really play a basketball game, that people really despise just the color of her skin. I am going to go over and navigate everything. So first, I just want to welcome you guys and welcome to this part of the show, because where we bring you the hottest basketball conversations, the biggest WNBA debates, and opinions backed by what's happening on the court, the actual facts. It's facts over feelings. And they crying in heaven right now. They crying in heaven. The way that we have to navigate through basketball right now, today. They're crying in heaven. They're crying in heaven right now. The way that things are being operationally pulled just to play a basketball game. Today's show is going to get you, you know what I mean, in talking about the real purpose of this league. Today's show. And what I will stand on and what I'm advocating for. Not to cut a young person who has probably life ahead of them and everything good that can go forward with them. But should Caitlin Clark just retire now? Or is the question simply a reflection of the pressure and the expectations surrounding one of the league's stars that they want to put in front? Meanwhile, Angel Reese continues building on the strongest rebound resume that we've ever seen from a young player this early. And then there's WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, the captain of the ship. If she had to choose one player to represent the future of the league today, who would it be now? And she didn't see it high in sight. Couldn't have known that it was going to go this way, but she rides the current, does nothing about it, let the referees be out of control, and a reactive instead of an inactive type of responsibility that she's giving to being the commissioner. Let's get it on. I will talk about Angel Reese, that she has became one of the league's elite rebounders almost immediately after entering the WNBA. The WNBA single season rebounding record, the WNBA rookie rebounding record, one of the longest double-double streaks in the league's history, fastest player to match and reach 500 career points and 500 rebounds, multiple WNBA All-Star selections in 3 years, among the league's leaders in offensive rebounds every single season. She's averaging right now, as of now, 14.9 points per game, 11.8 rebounds per game, and 2.5 assists per game. She ranks among the league's leaders in rebounding of all time. Angel Reese impacts and controls the glass, create extra possessions, elite offensive rebounder, physical defender, plays with tremendous energy. She sets a competitive tone, brings emotion every single night. Like you saw her dealing with the sideline over there. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with, just competitive basketball. What's up, PG and TW? Just in competitive basketball, Erica Wheeler's brother was on the sideline, and it was playground opportunities that we got to see the enjoyment of Angel Reese talking her ish. I mean, this is how, and this is what we look for every single night. She brings emotion to the game, and you always have to score, you know what I'm saying, in this game, but you also have to be dominant in this game. Hey, my sister Bernadette, my sister is in the building. Sometimes dominate means that the teams get 8 to 9 extra possessions because of your, the type of glass cleaning that Angel Reese brings to the table, the offensive onslaught that she has become. And as she goes on, she has gotten better and better and better. Y'all, what we looking at is greatness on the table. And I'm just telling y'all, man, look, Angel Reese, I could speak a lot about. And I could definitely bag it up with her numbers. But on the other side, Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA on an unprecedented type of entry. She had unprecedented expectations because why? Everyone was calling her the greatest player of all time. Thank you. They have called her the GOAT. They have said that she is better than Angel. They have said that she's better than Chelsea Gray. They have said that she's better than any player that plays the basketball game. Especially, they have said she's better than the GOAT, A'ja Wilson. Now, do we have to sit here and debate about a young lady who we know that's growing? She just have not had her opportunity of being a great player. She has not had her opportunity of being the best player in the league yet. But is it that at this time, Caitlin Clark, since she's been in the WNBA, she won Rookie of the Year. She won all WNBA first team honors, set multiple rookie assist records and 3-point records, become the fastest player in WNBA to reach 600 career assists in 72 games. Clark remains to be pushed up front, in front of everybody and everyone. Clark remains to put her abilities to the side when fandom arrives. Bars. I'm just saying Caitlin Clark cannot actually show full potential when there is someone gassing her up, someone putting her in the front of the line. We all, that is my color, understand when someone gets pushed before us and we've worked so hard to get what we have, but someone else, because of their privilege, pushed to the front of the line. Turnovers means a lot in the game of basketball. She has the highest turnover statistics in the history of basketball. It becomes difficult to catch some of her passes, some teammates that have left, talked about, the chances that are taken in games, the difficult situations. She cannot withstand any physicality at all, and it's disruptive of how she wants to play the game of basketball. For her, her fans, and for the Congress people that's writing the letters. She sometimes forces offense, and then, of course, she makes her teammates not better, but questionable of how and the way they should be playing. Opponents frequently build plans just to stop Caitlin Clark because this is the way that her fan base wants her to play. Stephanie White had a big thing on her plate of coming over to Indiana, leaving the Connecticut Suns to coach Caitlin Clark. Consider several factors in the WNBA champion. The way they perform, the winning that they're connected to, their availability, the leadership that they have on the floor, on the court, the fan base support, the television ratings thrown inside because of how the greatness is, the markability that a player has, marketable ability, the influence on younger players to be like them. In arguments and all what you have, can little girls really say that they want to grow up to be like Caitlin Clark? Can little girls really say that they want to have the game rigged for Caitlin Clark the way that her fan base want it to be? Can little girls look up to have an opportunity and have a clean slate across the board? Angel Reese, on the other hand, the league, you know what I'm saying, was already loaded with talent and claiming that Caitlin Clark was the messiah of the league. But Angel Reese was there as the villain to become the worst part, the Satanism, the devilish response of the basketball league, the villain, the one who stops the person in white from doing good. Angel Reese has been dominant the whole entire time that she has put her sneakers on and got her Reeboks being sold at the same time. She has been a force and a freak of nature. They've called her multiple different names, the freight train and the glue, and the tenacious player of any team that she was on, Chicago Sky, and now the Atlanta Dream. Caitlin Clark is actually now still pushed in front of the people to feel sorry for her, to feel sorry that she is now looking the way that she is. They made multiple excuses that she's been hurt. She can't play the way that she needs to be because they have damaged her. The reason that her field goal percentage is so low is because everyone targets her. How enjoyable is it to watch and look at a player that has obvious flaws? How enjoyable that it is to watch a player be put in front of someone that is absolutely better than that player and still be named the greatest player of all time and the best player in the league that they are in? Well, I'll tell you one thing. To see this transpire, to see the negatives of this young lady being in this league, to see the fan base do the things that they have done, to see the reaction of people who don't even watch women's basketball and criticize Angel Reese for nothing. We have all missed the mark when we let such things transpire. Us that's on YouTube that does this thing here, and what we are called content creators, we have missed the goal when we let these type of dissatisfactions go across. I'm just saying, why should we have to sit and cater to any player that has not been playing up to par? Why should we have to sit and watch the debauchery of things? Everybody, which I showed this morning because I was all out, had to watch a situation where Chelsea Gray was trying to score a basketball shot. And Chelsea Gray was doing her moves to move around so that she can launch her shot. Chelsea Gray shot the ball, fell to the ground. She was hit on the elbow by Caitlin Clark, and the referees called the foul. Caitlin Clark argued that she was messed up, she was duped up, she was beat up, she fell straight to the floor. She fell right to the ground, holding her head, her stomach, her body, as if it was damaged in that situation. Caitlin Clark has now become a spectacle of laughs, a spectacle of disregarding what's real and what's not, a spectacle of finger pointers. People saying, aha, see, this is what I'm talking about. The revealing of trash play, the revealing of unsportsmanlike behavior. As I play for you and will play and then bring up my panel, the debauchery of it all, the haze affair, in the falling out of love for this game, some of us are now going towards. Because this ain't no way you're going to tell me that this is the way we supposed to see the WNBA get played. Ain't no way we supposed to look at a player fall from an offensive play that they were playing defense on, and they was absolutely hurt, like they got shot by a rifle. There's no way to defend that. And Jason Whitlock opened up. He has tried to turn the tables, but I told you, Jason, We don't want you on this side. And you still not invited to the cookout. You have had your card revoked in the hood when you lie and you clickbait and you do disgraceful things. So I'm waiting for my panel to come up, and I'm gonna play this little bit for Jason Whitlock and what he said about his favorite player in the WNBA, what he said about the savior of basketball, the women's league as we know it. What he said was the greatest player
and to me,
of all time.
I mean,
Right now,
moves and just going through the body, creating.
That Caitlin Clark was well ahead of her time in this league. We've seen multiple shows where Jason Whitlock claimed that Caitlin Clark was the ultimate player. This is not just a problem in the league. This has become a problem in society. How you doing, MSL? I'm finna play Jason Whitlock for you guys. Me and MSL. I'm waiting on you, MDT, in a minute. Jason Whitlock speaks on his favorite player in the WNBA. Slow motion, guys. We can't make this shit up. We can't make it up, guys. 1 second. Let me get it up here, y'all. Okay, here we go. MSL, how you doing, brother?
I'm pretty good, but you had my mic turned off, I think. Or did I turn it off?
I don't. It was some clicking going on. I probably did.
No problem.
Yeah,
How you doing?
Oh man, I'm okay. I'm all right, man.
My condolences to your uncle, if I heard you correctly earlier this week.
Good dude, man. Good dude. But we could go ahead. I'm gonna have to reboot this.
Yeah, and it seemed like you got a good family as well, and you know, all things considered, despite while you were there, you still had a, you know, certainly a time. So
man,
I appreciate everything you do in between.
Man, I sure did, man. My family members, man, they some awesome people, man. Shout out to my aunt, you know.
Do they listen to the show?
Uncle Rob, oh yeah, they listen. My aunts, my older aunts, the 88 and the
one you were saying that was very badass.
Yeah.
Can throw down in the kitchen still.
Yeah. That's the one that makes
see that cakes. Smile on your face. You like, damn right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's, hey man, a rep club of how you grew up. She bring you all the way back. I mean, she got food for real that you could sell, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just saying. Shout out to my aunt Myrtle. Shout out to my aunt Myrtle. You know, lost her husband. They were married for 67 years.
Wow.
Married for 67 years.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So she had no other man in her life.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know,
and if you didn't bring it up, no one in the audience would even know or notice.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's how dedicated you were to getting the information out and doing what you're doing, and which you certainly didn't have to. If you would have taken a couple of days off, nobody would have had a problem with that. But the fact that you were still doing it, I not just me, I'm sure all of us, we give you mad dap to that. And I know it's not something you want to necessarily talk about a lot, but I'm just saying it since I've heard you mention it on more than one occasion. So kudos to you.
Yeah, it's rough when you see the ones that was ahead of you leave, man. You know, it's rough when
Circle
you
of life,
see,
man.
yeah, when you see the circle of life come to your doorstep. It's hard to see, and it's a hard thing to actually accept, especially like when I lost my father. I lost my father
Right.
young. He was 32. I mean, I was 32 when he passed away. You know, a lot of people be like, "Oh man, no, I ain't never had my father." I say, well, by me being the baby of everything, I didn't like my older siblings. They were in their 40s. You got what I'm
Oh, no
saying?
wonder you so spoiled. You the baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby of everybody.
Yeah,
You
I'm the
know?
baby too.
Yeah, yeah. So that spoke for you.
If you want to
So,
say that, yeah, right.
right. But you know, my uncle was one of those staples that believed in truth, man. He believed in truth. He was a hard nosed type of player guy. He didn't play no games. He
Right.
he kept the main thing, and he stated the facts. And you know what I mean, he supported me, you know, as a child, and giving me
That's
confidence
where it's at.
when I was playing basketball or playing baseball. He's the father of my cousin. What I was telling you, Rodney Harris. Shout out to my cousin Rodney Harris. We still praying for you, Rodney. He lost his father, but that's the one that beat Jesse Owens' record in high school
Wow. In
in the
Ohio?
80s. No, in Chicago. In Chicago,
Okay.
he was
Okay.
he was the very first person. Rodney Harris, you can look him up. That's my first cousin uh, from the west side of Chicago. He was the first in the state of Illinois to run uh, and beat Jesse Owens' record at the age of 18.
Wow. That's where it's at.
Yes, sir. So he ran in the Olympics in the '86 Olympics, uh, and he pulled a hamstring, and he was called out.
Mm. Yeah, you
Of,
always hear stories like that, unfortunately.
yeah. So we got to see him on TV, but not in that. You know, he didn't let it hurt him though. You know, he didn't let it tear him down. He continued to do some, I mean, athletics, bodybuilding, and different things like this. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
let me play this for you guys. Hopefully it comes up.
Oh, you were trying to play it earlier and it wouldn't play, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't play. Let me see.
Sincerest apologies for being a little late with this update. My big girl lawyer.
That's our big girl?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not a big girl. Yeah, it's not. The internet not.
You know, the illustration you gave, which with some of your relatives earlier about how they thought something because of television without ever really watching,
My
that's
baby
what
cousin.
that's what the market saturation and the propaganda and the constant commercials and the constant talk and the constant, gaslighting that they do. That's what it's for. It's to give the aura and the wall and the shield of someone that is not what they really are, because like I always tell you, if they didn't say it, what would they have? Because if you take away everything they say, what do you have? You have a player, as Gino and Tarasi had said. Remember what they said? They said that, well, she's not strong enough and she's not athletic enough to get away from these players in the WNBA. So that letter that they're talking about, from my perspective, it only highlights what
Yeah.
Tarasi and Gino said. Because if you got to do this, right? Okay, we know why they're trying to do it. They're trying to pander to their base for the upcoming midterms. However, we got to take it and say, okay, thank you very much, because you're just reaffirming what Gino and Tarasi said, that she's too slow and too weak to play in the league, which is why they got to change the rules for her. They got to referee her a certain way, and she's allowed to berate and curse out the refs on a regular basis with nothing happening to her. And they have to do all this because she's too slow, she's not athletic enough, and even her basketball skills and her mind for the game are not in the right place. And that video you're about to play, if it's going to play, that is a clear illustration that she's not right in the mind. And how dare Kathy, and we can get to those reasons why, obviously, but how dare Kathy try to put something out in front of us that's not even prepared for the spotlight, or is not the person that you say she is. She's actually someone who will crumble under the pressure. But the difference is they'll never tell us. So that's why we have to take the videos and tell and show them, because just like your relative that you were talking about, they'll never put it out there to the general public. That's something we have to do.
Right. Absolutely. And he actually never saw Angel Reese actually play one game, but he's a youngin. And from what he saw, he only saw the highlights. From what he saw the, the Kool-Aid that was put, the glass of Kool-Aid that was put out there, nice and sweet, for him to drink. He saw what they were actually trying to make benefit for all of us to take in, that she is the greatest player. She's the best player that you're going to ever see. And she absolutely is on a conquest to destroy everyone that's in front of her in basketball. So I told you, this is your night. You can go ahead. I'm going to be quiet.
Well, just like, what you're talking about there, and I've seen this before, that the power structure does, right? People make assumptions that because they see something or hear something, then that must be what it is. So subliminally, subconsciously, if you hear about someone all the time, you just make the assumption that, wow, they must really be that good, because if they weren't that good, they wouldn't talk about them. Same thing we spoke about in the past with the lowlights of Angel. You go, wow, this must really be true, because why would I see this if it wasn't true? So she's got to really be that bad, because subconsciously they're thinking, well, nobody would play all these bad videos of someone if it wasn't true. When common sense says, and maybe people like your relative doesn't know, but then why would someone be an all-star 3 times, especially someone who's not part of the power structure, right? Someone who's independent. See, if you're part of the power structure, it's understandable why you would get accolades. But if you're not part of the power structure, how do you become an all-star 3 times if you weren't any good? It doesn't make any sense. But your relative may not even know that she's not part of the power structure, and he or she may not know that Caitlin Clark is part of the power structure. And for those in the audience who says, well, why you say she's part of the power structure? Well, here are a couple of examples, right? That congressional letter that they're talking about, right? They wouldn't do that for someone that's either not part of the power structure or it's not benefiting from the power structure. And I'll give you an example. There was another podcaster who did a show, and that compilation reel they have of Caitlin Clark assaulting other players. This podcaster, and I saw it, so I can verify this. Somehow YouTube was able to delete the video while he was on the air, but so you just saw him, but you couldn't see the video. And then later in the comment section, he said, that wasn't me. He said YouTube deleted the video. So riddle me this, Batman. How does YouTube delete a video that you're playing of Caitlin Clark assaulting people. And then in that same video, someone on the panel had said, and I have no reason to doubt it, but they had mentioned that Nike and YouTube had some sort of agreement and affiliation. And I said, well, they must, because if they're deleting people's videos like that while they're live and on the air, well, it wasn't live. It was it was just posted.
Pre-recorded. Yeah.
Right. It was pre-recorded. That's, to me, that's crazy. It's not surprising, but if you know anything about how power works, that's what they always do. When they don't want to get a certain message out, when they don't want people to hear certain things, and this has been going on really since the last 6 years. Yeah. What you said, Brokaw?
It's called censored.
Yeah, they'll say exactly. They'll censor it. So if you're censoring, but then someone asks, well, wait a minute, then how come we've seen 10,000 Angel Reese bloopers the last 3 years? Well, that lets you know, or crystallizes to the masses, because some people, they don't see stuff clearly. They're busy, they're working, they have their kids, they got their family, they got their job. They're not thinking about stuff. Their minds are very linear. They're not really thinking about that stuff. Well, riddle me this, Batman. Well, how is it that Angel Reese bloopers can be on YouTube for the last 3 years? And then other people will tell you, sometimes you search Angel Reese, you'll get Caitlin Clark. Or if you search something good for Angel Reese, you got to weed through all the nonsense. That's why when people get to your site and they get to other sites, they go, oh man, I'm so relieved I found your site, because all I got was a bunch of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the power structure in action, and the power structure in work. And that also, that congressional letter, besides what I said about Taurasi and Gino, it also reinforces, and this is the real riddle, that it was never about basketball with Caitlin Clark. It was always about something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
On one component, it was about the CBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Controlling the CBA because they knew it was coming up in 2024. That's the basketball part. And the societal part was controlling the message of Black women, and also affecting this congressional midterm that's coming up now, because though we don't always see it, they've always found what they call wedge issues to light up the Republican base, to get them to get out to vote. And this is one of those things, because this is just basically Emmett Till reincarnated in 2026, but instead of Emmett Till being a 13 or 15-year-old Black boy, Emmett Till is just a cavalcade of Black women, lesbian women, etc., which is why they keep playing up on this Black woman, lesbian, big old muscular women thing. So they are now the collective Emmett Till. And I find it funny that Black people, not you guys in the audience, but Black people don't call this out, don't stand up to it, don't look at it, because ultimately these things are less about the WNBA and more about the glorification and deification of white women and the attempted character assassination of Black women.
A lot of people last year was like, man, why are you showing Jason? Don't give him no attention. I say, listen, this man got over 500,000 people that come, subscribers, that come and listen to what he has to say about Angel. And then he has a Korean boy on there.
Steve Kim?
What? Yeah, whatever. I'm not mentioning his name. Jackie Chan.
Sorry about that.
Jackie Chan cousin. Because you ain't getting no love from me, because you know what they think about us. You know what you know what I mean? We get shot in the back with everybody. But anyway,
I just threw out his name to let those in the audience know we know who the players are. We're not just speaking out of our arse. We know who the players are. We know what the arguments are.
Yeah. So the thing is that I had to do that to come back, to continue to show fight, to continue to show, hey, it is somebody going to say something to your ass. It is somebody that's going to go straight head for head, no matter if I got only 4,929 subscribers. No matter how many subscribers I got, you're going to hear my quotes. You're going to hear me say and stand up for Angel Reese as much as I can and advocate justice what I'm saying, hold on a second. Let me get the money. MDT. I mean, MSL. Hold on a second. Where MDT go? Hold on a second. Thank you so much. Thank you. He say, talk that MSL. This is my kind of show. I love you, man, Max. You know already, Max. I appreciate you. Yeah, okay. We finna play it. It's gonna play MSL. Let's go.
Sure. Can't wait.
Okay. Take it down, my bad.
Sincerest apologies for being a little late with this update. My big girl lawyer job.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but she basically was talking about the racist employee from the Hilton. That one of the Fever fans, he's an Indiana Fever fan, and he called in on the noticing of the name, and he saw and he looked. What's going on, King Webb? He looked and searched this guy down for the BS that he does, and a lot of times the Caitlin Clark.
Sincerest apologies for being a little late with this update. My big girl lawyer job.
Yeah, it's not going.
Why is it, Brokla, just curious, why is it that a lot of times when you're on live and you try to play stuff, I notice Tony has the same issues and sometimes you have the same issues. There's something about YouTube that makes stuff harder to play?
Yes, they do. They do it. We were just talking about it, right?
Right. You feel that's part of it as well.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely a part of it. It's always a part of it. Now, all of this time as it's been going on, as I continue to push the campaign about Angel, and it's getting thicker and thicker. Y'all got to pay attention, man. As it get thicker and thicker and thicker, they have problems. It's a problem with the YouTube.
Well, if YouTube is involved, this is definitely Big Brother and serious censorship, and we should all be concerned about that. Allegedly, we should all be concerned about that. And and it's interesting because speaking about Whitlock, since you mentioned his name, I'll say it. His latest stuff that he's done is he's spoken about victimization, and he said that, hey, as conservatives, we shouldn't be interested in victimization. I'm going to make a couple of parallels here, if I can, which is interesting because if you listen to Brother Malcolm, if you listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if you listen to Brother Minister Farrakhan, that's also about self-help as well. And you can also make some parallels between so-called conservatism, which in itself is not necessarily racist. It's just how it's used by people the last 40 years. And about pulling up your bootstraps and being independent. And Whitlock was saying, hey, we're not about victimization. And this girl is acting like a victim based off of the video that you're trying to show and the fallout with Chelsea Gray. And what I find interesting about that is, as far as the victimization, is that, like I said before, Caitlin Clark, for the conservatives that are listening to your show, is essentially Erica Kirk. She's Erica Kirk. She's the one that's fake. She's the one that's controlled by the power structure. She's the one that's not unique. She's the one that's not independent. She's the one that's not sincere. And then all of a sudden, when faced with the truth, whether we like her or not, I'm just explaining it to the conservatives in the audience because they know what I'm talking about. Now, Candace Owens has now become the anti-corporate Republican. She doesn't even consider herself a Republican anymore because she doesn't believe what the government says. She doesn't believe what TPUSA says. She actually got fired from the Daily Wire because she wouldn't talk about the things that they wanted her to talk about. So essentially, Angel Reese is, at least from their eyes, the Candace Owens that they find a hero now, because she's the one that's part of the Rebel Force. She's not with the WNBA. And what I find interesting about a lot of these people, y'all, think about this, y'all. A lot of these people, they claim they like Caitlin Clark, right? But simultaneously claim they don't like the WNBA. But when they say they don't like the WNBA, they're not speaking about the WNBA as an entity. They're talking about the players. They don't like the players. However, they support the entity of the WNBA while they claim that they don't. So here's the thing. But we know the WNBA supports Caitlin Clark. They try to pretend like it doesn't, but it does. So you got a bunch of simps. You essentially got a bunch of simps. You got a woman who's probably a Democrat, who may not live the lifestyle that they want, who's supported by the power structure, and we can prove that. That's indisputable. That's indisputable. But at the same time, they rail on a black girl.
Chelsea.
Okay.
That's not, I see you getting ready to play it, so I'll just close this out. That's not a part of it. And if anything, the so-called power structure cannot stand, does not like, and does not want to support. But just like a bunch of robots, and this is the programming we talked about earlier, they hate the black girl because they were told to, who's actually independent and pulls up her bootstrap and does the right thing and has those conservative ethos. Then the white girl that does not, they're the ones that they claim to love when she's everything against what they claim they like.
Absolutely. So they have ignited a power struggle within themselves. But we're going to play this video now that it's going
to the foul. And to me, that just... Chelsea Gray with counter moves and just going through the body, creating some conflict.
I can't defend that. I can't stand next to it. I don't want any part of my brain connected to that. That's a woman doing what women do. This is my
Good Lord.
problem with Caitlin Clark. She's a drama queen.
Wow. I wish that it could get all the way out.
She exaggerates everything. She plays the victim.
Trying to get this last part out. Basically, we heard him say it, but this was an advocate.
Again, all of you conservatives that are out there championing Caitlin Clark, you look like hypocrites. Because a conservative, a Christian conservative, does not believe in victimhood.
Someone in the chat, bro, Claude, said start it over and see what happens.
I don't know. Of a court in a WNBA game that they are winning.
To the foul, and to me, that just...
No, bro, this is just, it's not gonna. But this just of late
in a WNBA game that they are winning.
I wish I could have played it, but it is what it is.
Playing the victim and then played this role to the inevitable conclusion that's laughable and embarrassing. And you just don't put this type of
That's enough of that. He's saying you just don't put that type of product out.
We get the gist.
Yeah, we get it.
But you want me to say it or you want to say it?
Oh, yeah. No, it's your
for those in the audience that didn't see it, Jason Whitlock did a show. And after the game versus the Aces, which we all know Indiana won, but one of the most incredible, startling elements of that game, for those who didn't see it or didn't know, Chelsea Gray got a foul off of Caitlin Clark by posting her up, by faking her, giving her a very, very slight bump, then pulling back and taking a shot. And then Caitlin Clark kind of flailed both of her arms out and kind of like give that, well, okay, this is all you're going to get from me on defense. And Chelsea Gray took the shot, and they called the foul on Caitlin Clark. When Caitlin Clark realized they called a foul on her, there was a delayed reaction of about 1 to 2 seconds where she crumpled on the ground in the fetal position and started writhing in pain on the floor. So Monique Billings comes over, and you can see that smile on her face, like, I can't believe I'm involved in this, kind of like that look that Raven had when, when Steph White booted Clark off the bench about a month or so ago. And then Clark demanded a review of what happened. And believe it or not, the refs actually demanded a review. So Clark's writhing in pain, acting like she's hurt when there was nothing that took place to where she was hurt. And then when the refs came back and said, no, there's no excessive foul, there's no excessive abuse, then Clark not only popped up, but she changed her tune and started telling the refs, that's an effing foul. That's an effing foul. I did not foul that person. I did not foul that person. So it was just crazy. And it just looked, and honestly, with all due respect to these folks, she looked mental. She does not look right. She does not look stable. She does not look like a good person. So going back to this YouTube stuff that we just talked about with censorship, the reality is that anyone who acts like this woman, if they were to tell the truth about who and what she is, not just her basketball game, but how she acts, she would have been canceled already by the media. So she's supported by the power structure, because if this was Angel Reese acting like this, if this was Paige Beckers acting like this, if this was Olivia Miles acting like this, but certainly if it was someone who was independent of the WNBA, as I always say, Angel Reese didn't take the corporate deal, the one that Kelsey Plum refused, that Sabrina Ionesco used, that Breanna Stewart refused, and that Angel Reese refused to be the foil to Caitlin Clark. She said no, but Caitlin Clark took that deal. Angel Reese is not with Nike. Nike is a strategic investor and partner with the WNBA, and she also turned them down in 2023. So why would Nike, and we know where their technicals go, support an athlete that turned them down in 2023? And interestingly enough, Clark wasn't signed until over a year later in 2024. So they never wanted her. Let's get that clear. Nike never wanted Clark, because if they did, why did they sign her in 2023? And why did they go after Angel Reese first? And we know it's true, because when Angel Reese was on Michelle Obama's show with her brother, she said, all the big companies came after me. She said all, quote, A-L-L, all. The only reason why Clark was signed was she signed with nothing but official WNBA sponsors in 2024 to make it look like she had NIL, when all she had was about $500K in NIL at the time, to make it look like she actually had NIL, so they can go, oh, she had NIL. But the part they forgot to tell, it was all with official WNBA sponsors, including Nike. That's what Fee was talking about when she dropped dime about Kathy, when she said, well, Kathy was basically like, well, what the hell is her problem? Because we hooked her up. It was because Fee knew that it was the WNBA that hooked up Clark, not vice versa. See, a lot of people are under the assumption, including the people who talk about her, that it was Clark that got everything when she walked into the NBA. No, it was the WNBA that hooked up Clark under the guise of NIL, because they knew they were going to make her the preferred candidate. Because and then when Angel Reese said no, which she's discussed on her show, I'm not going into details because I've said these things before. She said no. then all of us, this is why Angel Reese is public enemy number one. But the reason why I do talk about these things, because more and more people need to know how the WNBA works. As Bro Claude would tell y'all for years, it's been a despotic plantation type cycle for the last 20 to 30 years for its existence. And what you get from these individual terrible teams, which is essentially all of them, you also get from the league as a whole. And Angel Reese was the main person trying to break this paradigm, whether she did it intentionally or not, which is why NECA and Fee and all these people told Angel in 2024, when she had an additional year, they said, no, come out because we need you. Because they knew Angel Reese was for the CBA. She was pro player. She had a historical context. She respected the players. You guys ever notice that Caitlin Clark barely or rarely talks about the history of the WNBA? She has no respect for it. She may respect Maya Moore because maybe she liked her coming up. But how many times do you actually hear Caitlin Clark speak about the historical context of the WNBA? She does not. And one of the reasons why she does not was because the league was essentially saying, oh, the league starts here in 2024. We really don't have to talk about all this other stuff. And her audience, if you want to call it that, what do they always say? They get mad and say, why do they always want to talk about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark? You know why? Because even with Google, they haven't changed it yet, y'all. If you look up who changed college basketball, it says both of them. Both of them. So we know if it says both of them, we know who the real mover was. Let's call a spade a spade. But it says both of them. You can't change history. But what they're trying to do, I always call it memory hole, kind of like in that show with Will Smith with the aliens. They got that little machine and they zap you.
Black. Yeah,
Men in Black, and they zap you and they forget your memory. That's essentially what they've tried to do the last 3 years, y'all. But the difference is Angel has real fans. She has a real base. She has real people that actually like her. And that game that she had yesterday, for those people who say, what is this thing with Angel Reese? Who is she? What is she? Why do people like her so much? Well, first of all, it starts with her basketball. Secondly, it starts with how she looks. Thirdly, it talks about her personality and her dynamism.
Go ahead, preach. Come on.
And fourth, it talks about her commitment to her people or to the sport. And fifth, it's what she's willing to stand up and put up with versus what people don't like or what don't care about her, and she's okay with that. So what that does, that makes people like her because she is authentic. That's why she says she's unapologetic.
The culture.
Because she's untouched. So she has the true culture, and whites, blacks, whoever, people respect that. That's why these white TV shows on Netflix, hey, we want you as a guest. That's why Victoria's Secret say, hey, we want you as this. Why Netflix would say, hey, we want you at this fight, the biggest fight of the year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they know she's authentic. Because guess what? And if you saw her after that game yesterday, you saw how comfortable she was speaking to those two people. You saw how comfortable she was speaking to Michelle Obama. That was one of the best interviews I've ever seen. The one she gave with Michelle Obama and her brother. That's because she's her. And the league knows this. The league knows if they promoted Angel Reese the way they should, she would be by far the biggest female star in history.
By far.
By far, period.
Which she is, but go ahead.
Right. And that's just what she does off the court. When you saw what she did at that game yesterday, she was essentially a conductor or a maestro doing her concerto, and her concerto was the people in the audience. Well, the concerto was her game, and then the audience, the TV people, and the people that were watching on television, we were all there because she essentially controlled that audience. She just didn't control the game, but these people, like everyone who went to that game, was like, it was crazy. It's like Angel cast a spell on everybody in that, on everybody in that room, and that's something Caitlin Clark can never do.
Took over, and this is what they want her to do, but she just don't have that, and it's okay. It's all right. No one is putting pressure on Caitlin Clark but her fan base. No one.
Right, because she doesn't have it. But what she's trying to do, bro, Claude, is live up to the expectations that they falsely casted upon her. One of your favorite topics, Olivia Miles. The reason why Olivia Miles doesn't get hate is because nobody said she was the best ever before she stepped into a court. She let her player do the talking, and we all go, okay. We'll take that. We'll do that. Now, of course, there's a part of the media that will only go but so far with her, because then people will say, but what about Caitlin? Why y'all keep talking about her? And it's actually a tragedy, right? Because Caitlin has many holes in her game. It's not to disrespect her, but what Gino said was correct. What Cynthia Cooper said was correct. What Diana Taurasi said was correct. They also said similar things about Angel Reese. But guess what? Angel Reese put her head down, put her head to the pavement, and said, okay, I'm gonna either prove to you guys what I can do, and or I am going to build upon or improve upon my game. But for some reason, Caitlin Clark and the WNBA and her fake fans, they want to ignore everything we say. And at this point, they're at the stage where they'll take anything, because if you look at what Steph White did at that game, y'all, think about it.
Think about it. Hot.
She was not only hot for that incident, but what it appeared to me, bro, Claude, what she was doing, she cut a deal with Caitlin Clark and or Red Her to ride at, because she said, I will play you 25 minutes a game if I play you at all. If the ball moves, you don't control the ball, you don't dominate the ball. Because remember, 2 games before that, when she came off the 3-game hiatus, she chucked up 12 shots in 16 minutes with 4 turnovers. Stephanie White sat her ass. She didn't play. She didn't play the rest of the game. So the game on the weekend, you notice she was on kind of her best behavior. She didn't start chucking up shots until in the 4th quarter when they already up 20 points, and she started chucking up shots, and then eventually they took her out the game. So if Steph White sticks to what she's saying, she already knows what the deal is, which is the less you play Caitlin Clark, the better Indiana does. Even in that game, when Caitlin Clark wasn't on the court, Indiana was balling. When Caitlin Clark was on the court, Las Vegas was balling. So they know they're a better team without her. And the reason why is because she's really not a point guard. And when I say she's really not a point guard, it's not just about assists. It's how you see the game, the flow of the game. When you shoot, when you don't shoot, who's the hot person, who's not the hot. How do you get Aaliyah Boston involved? How do you get this person involved? It's not just about going in there chucking up shots. That's not a point guard. It's not about going in there chucking up logo threes. That's not going to help your team. Because when you look at that game yesterday with Angel, right? And I don't know how you feel about this, bro, Claude. You can give me your feelings. I felt, even though she didn't have a lot of assists, and she may have had a lot of hockey assists, but particularly in that first half, bro, Claude, it seemed like Angel and Jordan Canada were their closest as far as working together than I've seen all year with them, because Angel essentially pushed the ball up the court every time she got the rebound. If you notice, she was also pointing to people in half court where to go. She was directing traffic like she would do with Chicago last year. And if she felt she had the lane, she'd take it. If she didn't, she'd give it to Canada. Borlase, the ball would work around, and boom, and they scored 59 points in the first half. Now, they went away from that in the 3rd quarter, and especially the first half of the 4th quarter, and the team suffered. And then it seemed like Angel just said, screw it, F it. I'm just going to do me, because y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing. So let me show y'all how to do it. And all of a sudden she started balling, right? So there you go. And this time when she gave the ball to Canada in the 4th quarter, it didn't feel like she was doing it to defer to Canada. It felt like she was doing it either because she wanted to, or that was the best thing at the time, so she can go and set up in what she had to do. And one of those things she set up for was the 3-point shot from the corner that she hit when Canada had to dump the ball off. So this is the Angel that we all wanted to see, because if you remember when they were 12-4, even though she was playing center, she was dribble driving from different facets of the floor. Then when they went on the losing streak, it seemed like she was camped out around the basket.
So this is the Angel that I was telling you she was capable of doing.
Right. And now it seems like they're back to saying after those Golden State games, because they even mentioned it when Kia Stokes was blocking their shot, they were saying they pull Angel out and they were having her drive to the basket and play on the perimeter, which was essentially what she did in Chicago last year, which we know she's more comfortable with. The next phase of this, of course, and maybe it happens when Bree Jones comes back, is that she's picking up the assists, because earlier this year she was averaging almost 4 assists a game like she did last year. Now she's down to about 2.5. So one of the things Angel can do, and this can also improve her field goal percentage, and I'll give Jess Shepard one thing over Angel, at least so far this year. When Jess Shepard gets the ball, if the shot is not there, she'll immediately pass the ball. She'll immediately pass the ball back out, because there's an old saying in basketball: pass the ball out and it'll come back, and it'll come back to you.
It's gonna find you.
Right. So, and I believe that as well. But with these chuckers, particularly with Ryan, Angel's probably saying, well, God damn, if I pass this ball back out, I may never see it again. But despite that, despite that, you still got to pass. You still got to pass the ball out. And Angel has done it well sometimes this year, and she hasn't done it as well so far this year. If you get the ball, if you don't have the shot, just pass it out. Let one of you. She does it in critical stages when she has to, but it's something she should do more often, more frequently. If the shot's not there, just pass it out and see if one of your teammates can hit it. Because Angel, as we all know, can pass out the post. She can pass out the face up, and she can pass or in the high post or in the wing, and she can pass in transition. So that's something that she needs to do. And once she does that, most people who follow the team feels that's when they'll really take the next level, especially when Bree Jones comes back.
MDT, that's her comfort zone to do exactly what you just said.
Because what people don't realize about Bree Jones when she comes back, think about it, y'all. And if MDT is here, hey, what's going on? Is that now you'll have Nas coming off the bench, Okot coming off the bench, and Borlace coming off the bench. That's a big difference, y'all. If you got Nas, Okot, and Borlace coming off the bench. And so now all you need to do, whether you play Navarre or whoever you play, is that if you have 1 or 2 starters in the mix, that's a pretty formidable team to have 1 or 2 starters, and to have Borlace, Nas, and Okot playing in that second unit, along with, presumably, we hope so, better play with Angel as she plays her more natural position. Because now, the 3 biggest issues that affected the team during this slump has perimeter defense, lack of bench scoring, and or rebounding. Because they're being rebounded by other teams' guards. And when Angel's not in the game, nobody can seem to grab a rebound at critical stretches at the end of games. Plus, rebounds equal possessions. And that's really important, especially when you're shooting 20% from 3-point land, which is what they've been doing during this stretch. And they've been shooting in the 30s from the floor. So all these things affect the team. And as simple as you take it, if Bree Jones is healthy, that's a big if, but I'm assuming she is because they've taken so long to bring her back, it can dramatically change the team's prospects. So we'll see.
Well, I want to address something. I'm going to get on the screen. I'm going to address it because it has to be addressed.
What are they talking about now?
Let me tell you something. Kelsey Mitchell is the reason why they win. When Caitlin Clark is gone, guess what their record is, Robert? When Kelsey Mitchell is playing the so-called hero ball that you claim it is, because I know you got a problem because it's a young black girl that's actually the leader of the team. You guys don't want that because Kelsey Mitchell is homegrown. She got drafted in Indiana. So everybody should be galvanizing themselves around Kelsey Mitchell.
Hey,
Not her
bro,
being,
Claude, I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick. If
go
Tiffy
ahead,
Co truly is in the audience,
come up.
you can more
I
bring
already
her
dropped.
up as she wants to come.
I already dropped the link. Tiffany
Oh,
should.
okay.
I already dropped the link.
Hey, Tiffy Co, come on up if you can.
So the thing is this, man. Kelsey Mitchell is the leader of the Indiana Fever. She is and will always be until Caitlin steps her game up and be someone that they can depend upon and something that they can be able to have in a clutch moment and hit the shot. Kelsey Mitchell is the actual turn it on all the way on and take over player for the Indiana Fever. When you say the shot, Kelsey Mitchell is the shot. Caitlin has been playing 3 seasons and she only got one big shot out of the 3 seasons, including the
Yeah, she's
13
not a
games
money
that she
player.
played. That's right, including the 13 games that she played last year, including all of the games that she played this year. She has not hit the shot but one time. So therefore, when you go and nobody is up here Caitlin Clark bashing. I asked the question, and you still have yet to answer though, MSL, with the breakdown. Should Caitlin Clark retire now?
If she's gonna keep drawing so much negative attention to the league, I think she should. Yes, but I don't think she will because for some reason Kathy wants to drag this horse, that's got nothing left, up this dusty rock Cragen hill for some for some godforsaken reason. And it's really because
That's because
you know
they
what?
laid it all on the cross. It's on the cross right now. MSL.
Because as I've always said in the past, the people who actually support the sport are not her fans.
Mm-mm.
They're not her fans because and I've said this over and over, anytime you get into an argument with her fans, they will proudly tell you they don't watch the sport, they don't like the sport, or they don't respect the sport. So how do you put your bag and promote an athlete? Because the only reason why they supported her was because once they said she was the greatest, just like your relative, once they said she was the greatest ever, the greatest this, the greatest this, the greatest this, that piqued the curiosity of all the racists, of all the bandwagoners, of all the people who experiment with insects in their basements, of all the people who who look at the Unabomber as their hero,
Yes,
for all the people who have no
Jeffrey Dahmer.
lives and who are not and who have poor social relations. It was a rallying for these people because just like when the government wants to go to war or they want to promote certain things, they know how to get to people psychologically. So saying that this person is the greatest, the best, the this, even when it wasn't, there are just a lot of people who will gravitate towards that, like your relative, because that's just how the mind is conditioned. And so now these people, if they were to go off of it, now they would have to acknowledge and admit that all the time that they invested in their life the last 3 years was for naught and they were lied to, and they can't do that. Just like when the government lies to you about whatever they lie to you about, half the people still believe it, or a third of the people still believe it, because if they acknowledge it, then they would realize that, oh, I got duped. And that's what's happening here. And from the media's perspective and the WNBA's perspective, they can't tell you the truth at this stage about Caitlin Clark, because if they did, they would now have to have their comeuppance or mea culpa and acknowledge and admit that they've been lying to people all this time. So if or when they do that, then you really know that they're about to either get rid of this girl or she's not worth the squeeze anymore, because even now when she's embarrassed on national TV, they're still trying to shove her down her throat with these State Farm commercials that nobody absolutely cares about.
Mm, mm, mm.
Now, and to the person that you were talking to regarding her and Kelsey Mitchell, the last time I saw the statistic, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the real statistic, bro, Claude. The Indiana Pacers score at an average, whatever the formula is, 10 points more per game with Kelsey Mitchell on the floor than with Caitlin Clark on the floor. That is the ultimate determinator. The offense is much better when Kelsey Mitchell is on the floor. And the reason why I say this is because their favorite argument is, oh, she's just a shooter. She doesn't do assists like Caitlin Clark does. And as we all know, assists is just part of the picture because it's your turnovers, it's how you control the offense, it's how bad your defense is. It's an amalgamation of those things, and it comes out into the offensive statistics. Kelsey Mitchell is by far the better offensive player if you look at how team statistics impacts the Indiana Fever. So when Kelsey Mitchell is on the floor, her offensive rating for the team is much better than Caitlin Clark's. There you go. Just like how when Caitlin Clark didn't play last year, the team actually averaged more assists than they did when Caitlin Clark did play, despite her individual assists.
Absolutely. And that whole thing, like I told you, I was going to let you launch because it's very important for the people to understand and to know that we're not up here to bash Caitlin Clark. We're up here to let you guys know that why do we have to defend a player that hasn't done anything to these people, that gets called out our name, that's disrespected, that's demoralizing, demoralized and dehumanized. Why do we have to get on this podcast or any panel or any platform and talk about this? Because it's issues of the country. Absolutely. But also, I would say this, and we're gonna start getting closer to the close. This is a situation, bro, that I don't like when it comes to people in the comments saying, oh, you a Caitlin Clark basher. No, I'm not. I'm an Angel Reese defender. Because
if you didn't bash Angel Reese unabashedly for the last 3 years, we wouldn't have to correct the information now. But when people say that, bro, Claude, I just think they're saying it just to say it, because if they truly were Caitlin Clark fans, they would understand where this is coming from. Because just like some of the Indiana fans you talk about at MDT, I've seen people go in the comment sections that say, hey, I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark, or I'm a fan of the Indiana Fever, but I cannot understand why people have bashed Angel Reese the way they have the last several years, and I wish she was on, and I wish she was on the Fever. Like you start to see that. So for someone to say that, they're being disingenuous, because you know exactly why we're doing this, because the Indiana fans themselves, they can't stand her no more. Like the fans of Tamika Catchings and the teams that they had over the years, and those defensive teams that they had, they not down with this stuff, which is why Stephanie White, her management and her players, they support her. If they did it, you would have heard about it, or you would be hearing rumors that she's going to get booted out. But do you hear any rumors about Stephanie White being booted out? No, because they realize that if they don't catch this tail right now, that it's going to get even worse, because she was on national TV on the weekend. National TV, 9 o'clock at night on NBC. 9 o'clock. Think about this, y'all. Everybody's watching. Regardless of what was said or told before they done wrote this idiot letter for her, she's in the news, and she goes and spazzes out like she's on 30 psychological drugs, palpitating on the floor and writhing in pain in the fetal position when she wasn't even touched. Like, this woman looks like she needs to be in a padded room. in a padded room. I mean, if I'm the dude that wrote that letter, I'm like, God damn, like, can you just like have some common sense? Like, you're embarrassing me like this because I done told the whole world that you're being abused and you're being beat up, and then here you go acting on the floor with a Razzie like you the worst actor in the world. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This woman has serious psychological problems. I know a lot of y'all feel she's entitled, whether she has psychological problems, whether she has white privilege, whether she's on the spectrum, whatever it is, she shouldn't be leading your league. And that's not the person who you should promote. Because like I said, like I've always said before, let's be real. When you promote someone and you say, this is the face of my league, there's several criteria, right? You got to be a champion, which she's not.
No.
You got to, at least with the women, but sometimes with the men, you got to look good, which she doesn't.
No.
You got to have a personality, which she doesn't. And
No.
your game has to be aesthetically pleasing, which it is not. They told us it was with the logo threes, but no, it's not. She dribbles like somebody from the 1950s. Right? She doesn't dribble like a modern athlete.
No.
And then she cries and complains and bitches and moans every single second. So even if her game was aesthetically pleasing, watching her play is not aesthetically pleasing. It's actually moronic. It's moronic. And we're all tired of it. We all hate it. So to your argument, bro, Claude, anyone in the chat that says we're bashing her, that if you had a kid that was acting up in school and acting a fool and you got to witness it yourself, and so now when you get complaints from other people, if you just go, no, you can't talk about my kid like that, you hate my kid, then eventually you're going to have a kid that's going to be locked up in jail or be in the lunatic asylum because you had a chance to correct the behavior, but you became a supreme enabler by ignoring it. But obviously no responsible parent would do this. So any Caitlin Clark fan, if you were truly a responsible fan, you would take the hits that you're getting right now because no one can defend that foolishness that we saw on the weekend, 9 o'clock at night on NBC on national TV. That woman looked like a damn fool. And anyone who saw that would be like, Jesus Christ, like I can't root for her. I can't root for her. But the thing is, but it's not like ESPN or NBC or Yahoo or any of these people are going to repeat it on Saturation Cycle like they would if that was Angel Reese. If that was Angel Reese, you would see that nonstop on every channel 10 times a day. 10 times a day, and there'd be talk shows saying, what's wrong with Angel Reese? Remember what happened last year, y'all? Remember what happened last year? She got wrist surgery. The Chicago Sky knew, but Jeff P didn't say a word to the media. Neither did Angel. So in that first 10 games, when she averaged like 7 points a game, people like Stephen A. Smith, I'm not making this up, I know some of y'all in the chat know this, started saying that Angel Reese's WNBA career would be over if she didn't get it together, would be over. And no one in the media said, oh, she had wrist surgery and she may still be dealing with the wrist surgery. And we know they weren't going to talk about Courtney Vandersloot not passing her the ball, but goddamn, at least they could have mentioned the wrist surgery. Nobody did. You know when we first heard about that wrist surgery? When she did her podcast after the end of the season, when she said she had wrist surgery. And guess what, guys? Nobody in the media, not ESPN, not Yahoo, not Fox, none of them reported that she had wrist surgery, but they were quick to say, oh, she's going to be out the league soon, the way she's going when she didn't perform the first. Now, last year, Caitlin Clark shot what, 38%? Shot 38%, averaged almost 6 turnovers, right? And she was terrible when she was on the court. Did you hear any body from the network say she's going to be out the league soon? We did. I did. Yeah. Other people did, but certainly not people on network TV. So now she comes back. She's chucking up shots like a sailor so she can average 20 points a game. But guess what? It's not impactful because she's still losing. Her team, she's still losing. So Stephanie White has figured this out. So now she's either going to not play her or reduce her time, because she knows the more she plays, the worse she is, the worse the team is. And nobody can dispute this at this case, because we have the example of last year, the Commissioner's Cup, one unhealthy Kelsey Mitchell away from the finals, and what they've done this year so far. But as you would say, Bro Claude, instead of these people saying, hey, we need to get it together, like you said, they can't, because Caitlin Clark's entire existence was never built on basketball. It was built on a cult of personality, but the problem is she has none.
Tiffy Cole has came up in the building. And
Tiffy Cole!
Tiffy Cole,
in the hizzy.
Just put it up here. And the subject of it all is, should Caitlin Clark retire now? Who would Captain Engelbert name the real true face of the NBA? And we also talking about Angel Reese ascending from the mud when they already counted her out at this point in their careers. So you could go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all for, having me up here. What's up, you guys?
What's happening?
Yeah, no.
Hi, Tiff.
I'm still on the ups from our win the other day, I guess, child. But
she said, I guess, Bro Claude. That's a slap at that's a slap at who, but we don't leave that alone.
Right.
Mr. Smesco.
Yes. However, I think that, Caitlin's time is up. Like, I was so excited to have Olivia Miles come to Chicago. I know I was in the sauce. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. But I was excited back in the day, back when things were good, to have Olivia come, because I said, as soon as Olivia comes into the league, she's going to break every single record that Caitlin set.
Yes.
Because I knew that she was who the WNBA was pretending Caitlin was. A true point guard, an actual rookie who could win the MVP, Rookie of the Year, and be all W in their own right, and maybe win a championship in their first year.
And actually earn it this time and not have it bequeathed to them as it was for Clark in 2024.
Hello. So I was hyped. I was one of the few along with you, Bro Claude. I was there with you. I said, listen, Olivia Miles.
And toes down.
So I feel like, and how does this all tie together? This is because I know Caitlin is shaking in her boots. She's shaking in them Snow White, those Clan 100 she got coming out. Because she thought she would just have to deal with Paige. And then Olivia came, she said, that girl, I'm telling you, Caitlin was thinking of whether she got to get a perm in her hair or something. She don't know if the magic comes from Olivia's afro or the goggles. She trying to get what she got.
The superpower.
Yeah, she's scared. Now she has 2 point guards who are below her in years, both on rookie contracts, who are better than her. So that's why, everybody talked about that fake, roly-poly that Caitlin was doing on the ground. She was dropping it low like she had apple bottom jeans on, because she did not want to be pulled out of the game for her bad defense. That's the only reason. At that point in time, the Indiana Fever was beating, smacking, mopping the Las Vegas Aces. So ask yourself, why does Caitlin think that, it's important to pretend that she was fouled and fall on the ground acting a clown? Because she does not want to be looked at as the player who gave the Las Vegas Aces the momentum swing, right? Because that was a foul for Chelsea. She was trying to get it reversed. And it's like, okay, but your team is up. Recognize in that game, we're talking about Caitlin's actions. We don't recognize the girl only had 12 points.
Yeah, so once again, it was all about her.
12, it's her ego. It's her ego, because on that same 2-day span, Paige brought her team back in the fourth quarter versus, unfortunately, it was the Sky. But Paige brought her team back and they won the game. Paige had amazing stats. Then the next day, Olivia Miles, she got 33 points almost had a triple-double over here, and they're doing phenomenal. And Caitlin had 12 points, right? So she's trying to move the attention away from basketball. Before, people say, oh, it's her fans, it's her fans. It's her too. She does not want people to talk about her bad defense. She does not want people to talk about how she's being carried by Kelsey Mitchell, who has to dang near drop 30 points a night for them to win games, right? And so that's why I said Caitlin's biggest problem is her ego. She wants to be the center of attention. She wants to be the center of her team. And you know what? People saying it, listen, I'm always doing the social engineering. Go back and look, Caitlin did not do all that rah-rah-ree to get Kelsey Mitchell back. She does not care if that girl's on her team or not, right? No. The one who cares is Stephanie White. Stephanie White is begging and crying, and she got snot coming down her nose at the end of every season trying to get Kelsey to come back. And Caitlin's just like, whatever, like, because she doesn't care. And quite honestly, when we see Stephanie White leave, Kelsey Mitchell will also leave. Caitlin does not want to win if she's not the one leading the teams to the win. And that's a problem. So what do I think? Should Caitlin be kicked out the league, or should she retire? I think
not kicked out league. I wouldn't go that far. Though I wouldn't give her the privilege to be kicked out of the league. I wouldn't kick her out the league. But I definitely want you to answer this question. Should Caitlin retire? Should she?
Don't ask Tiffy Cole that question. You may get an answer.
No, give it up.
She's not tired. You said tired as in sleepy?
Retired.
Oh, retired. Oh, yes. Girl, she done. I told you, she had 3 years. She did not, and the league did not expect Olivia Miles to come in and give her this butt whooping. Olivia Miles got to 400 points before she did.
Yes.
And they're over here rolling back her accomplishments and say, 350 points. Nah, don't be point shaving. Olivia Miles got 400 points. And I would hazard a guess that she's going to get to 1,000 points before her as well. So I think that, if she retired now, she'll be all right. She doesn't need basketball. She does not need basketball. I think that she needs to retire her ego. She needs to retire those Cookie Crumble 2000s that she's trying to debut. And she needs to fall in line because
what did you call them? Cookie Crumble?
Oops.
Yes. Them Cookie Monsters. She's
yeah.
Because
did you see them ugly yellow ones she had on on the weekend?
Yes. Those those ones are the Dijon mustards. I don't know who's choosing these colors for her. They do not look good. But anyway.
Yeah, they don't.
That's neither here nor there. Like, I feel like she has to retire her old style of basketball, like the Caitlin Clark system. Because listen, I say the same thing about Ryan Howard. The shot's not falling, you're looking like a fraud, right? So you got to lean onto other aspects of your game that actually make you a decent player, right? Because right now it's looking like Ty Harris is a better point guard for this team than you are. And she doesn't.
Absolutely. And that's where less is more.
Well, that's the thing. And Stephanie White is willing to do that. And that's why I believe if and when the Indiana Fever are a first round exit, Caitlin will have that lady fired. Caitlin will have that lady fired, just like she had Christy Sides fired. So, and how does this relate to Angel? I think that ultimately Caitlin would have had no problem flying underneath the radar if Angel was still stuck in Siberia, aka the Chicago sky. Because when Angel was doing well at Chicago, it was easy for the media to ignore her and say, "Oh, she's just doing well because this is a ragtag team." No offense, bro, but Chicago was struggling. So now that Angel is on a contender and she makes Atlanta a contender, let's not get it twisted, because they looking like the Atlanta Chicago sky, the Atlanta skies without Angel on the team. Okay, let's get into it. But with Angel on the team, they're actually contenders. And so now the media actually has to put her in conversations that she should have already been in conversations for. She should have already been in all defense DPOY conversations, but they used her team record as a crutch. So now Caitlin is feeling that pressure from different sides, right? She's feeling the pressure from the point guards who are whooping her behind, and she's also feeling the pressure from her nemesis or rival or whatever. Like, it's a one-sided rivalry. I don't think Angel gives a rat's behind what Caitlin got going on.
Not one. She don't have a thought, and people like you're talking about, Jordan Canada is having one of the best point guard steals in leading the whole league in steals right now, right? She's having one of the best point guard navigational type of general. Though we get on Jordan about doing in the elite 5 or 6 point guards in the game right now that is at the top tier of being a point guard. Olivia Miles, you have that's like real crazy work. Veronica Burton, arguably, is the toughest point guard in the WNBA. I mean, V. Burton gets beat up night after night. No one says anything about V. Burton while she's getting knocked to the floor. Nobody's talking about when Veronica Burton is not continuously on the floor. Chelsea Gray, we already know we're not going to even put the point guard in the conversation because that's a whole nother level. And she has 4 championships to shut your ass up. Okay. So we ain't going to be doing this and playing games about the best point guards in the game when you can't even navigate your mind. You can't even consistently say, oh, well, she's better than this one or that one, the black one or the white one. You can't navigate your mind and say, is she really better than Olivia Miles? We know that she's not. Is she better than Paige Beckers? We know that she's not. Okay, we know that. Is she? And then don't let me get on Sabrina Ionescu because she done came in cooking like fish grease. She done came in right now, Sabrina Ionescu, from injury, cooking like fish grease. So there's a big ultimate worry about her placement amongst the elite guards that are here. So yes, when it comes to guard play, she is not in the top 5 of those people that I just named that is right now navigating, conducting their teams to wins and making it possible for them to be in the top tier. So, I mean, a lot of people, say, oh man, Bro Cloud, you are at, you at her throat and this and that, and you're hating on because no, that's not true. Me personally, in the beginning, liked to even see if Caitlin Clark was going to be able to meet expectations. But me, got to see falling shorts. Me, got to see people trying to put in my eyes something that actually is not true. Me, got to actually see with my own eyes someone who has not been able to put together a slew of wins without taking time off to get out of the trouble or out of the way or out of the judgment or out of the criticism or out of the zone of being that person to be the leader of the pack. But all I saw and all I've been seeing is actual excuses, people who are coddling her, people who are saying that she's not being treated right, people that are actually saying she just needs real people around her to help her be better and do the best things. People that's making excuses of why she's not meeting meeting expectations. But then they also play this racial game, guys. And I'm gonna land my plane. They play the racial game because what do you have left when expectations are not met? What do you have left?
Emmett Till, the women of the WNBA.
That's right. When the
circa 2026,
the expectations of it all not met. So therefore, when you have a situation where there's a Caitlin Clark that's involved in all of this right now, in a Caitlin Clark fan base that's involved in this right now, and a situation where the coach of Stephanie White is involved in all of this right now, we are looking at turmoil. They're trying to save face of what you guys know that's inedible. It's evident that she is not what these others are. It's evident that she's not even in the spectrum of great players that you guys claim that you want to see. You guys saying that you want to see her go against the greatest competition, but you don't want the greatest competition to actually play defense with her, amongst her. You're saying that you don't want her to be really be in a competition to be competed upon. You're actually saying that you want everyone to tread water lightly. And you want everyone not to respond to her driving in hole, her shooting her 3-point shots, her actually being a good player. You throw it all out the window because you don't care. You throw it all out the window because you want something that was given to her to actually be her, and it's not. So, Tiffy Cole, brother, we are at our 2-hour mark, and I am grateful that you guys came up. I don't know what happened to MTT. He probably had to, something happened because he was trying to get on.
He probably fell asleep. Where is he in Indiana?
Yeah, he probably fell asleep. He in Indiana. He probably fell asleep. But
it's been a long day. A lot of basketball, World Cup,
a lot of basketball, and I started at 8 this morning.
Oh, there you go.
I start again at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So, guys, the time has been moved. The time has been moved from 10 to 8 o'clock. So you guys will be seeing me at 8 o'clock in the mornings and 10 o'clock at nights. From now on, I'll be up and working this YouTube as best as I can. And I appreciate everybody that came out, man, after these messages. Hold on. Hey, everybody. My name is Bro Claude, and I'm here to tell you about the best whipped organic shea butter on planet Earth. It just so happens to be my brand, Bread House Butters. It sheens, shine, heal, treats, moisturize, condition your skin. Not only is this the best shea butter for you, but it heals good, smells good, and feels good. It is the best moisturizer that you can use. It clears up any scars, scrapes, stretch marks, blemishes, rashes, bruises, eczema, psoriasis, and most intensified dryness of skins. You can put this on your face, your hair, and your body, and I'm telling you, this is the best product that you can use in America, because of course we make ours and crafted handcrafted in our own kitchen. So I'm asking for you guys to support the #1 product that you're gonna ever be able to put on your body, Bread House Butters brand. And guess what? You can go to breadhousebutters.com. I said breadhousebutters.com and put your order in now. Thank you. and I appreciate everyone who supports.
Soldier that the streets talk about. If it ain't making money, ain't nothing to talk about. Keep my
Meanwhile, Angel Reese has released another colorway, the pinks, the Reeboks, Reese ones, expressive pink. It's gonna be hit the retailers online. Y'all go get the shoe if you love that pink color. Angel Reese is definitely entrepreneur, and you know, hey, all we want to know is we know who is the actual baby goat of this league, but we want to know, are we going to continue with the charade? Is Kathy Engelbert going to get things right? What's going on, boss? I'm sending that thumbnail to you. Is actual Kathy Engelbert able to captain the ship, and will she really put in place the face of the WNBA, which is Asia Wilson, the greatest player of all time? By right, the GOAT needs her get back. The GOAT needs to be put in front of the place that she built, and still right now captivate us all in beating the hell out of teams damn near single-handedly, leading the league in scoring,
They don't have a
leading the
bench.
league, hey, without a bench, doing all of the things well that we want from a real player. It says, I'll be on vacation. Get it off your chest. We'll be back Sunday night. Sorry, guys. So we'll be back this Sunday coming on. He's on vacation. We'll be back on this Sunday at 9:30. So tomorrow, MSL is me and you on the show. I'll give you the topic. I'll send it to you in the email. But definitely, we are definitely pushing the envelope of why it's so egregious to watch Caitlin Clark right now as we speak. Egregious just to, have the young lady, you know what I'm saying, play basketball, and for us to watch. Egregious for something like what's going on right now in the basketball world with the Capitol Hill giving instructions and orders for her not to be touched.
Well, one of the reasons why I talk about the things that I do, and I'm sure Tiffy Co. and yourself, Bro Claude, and others talk about what we do, is because we have to push this to the point where the average person knows what's going on. Kind of like how people know no matter what the government says or what a corporation says, we all know what's really going on. That's we have to put it on the grassroots level, because to your question, unfortunately, it seems like the WNBA and its partners, as dumb as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, they're going to keep pushing and shoving this girl down our throat, just like how TPUSA, the U.S. government, the power structure, etc., is going to keep pushing Erica Kirk / TPUSA down conservatives' collective throats when their base, their real base, not the corporate part, they can't stand TPUSA, they can't stand Erica Kirk, they can't stand Ben Shapiro, they can't stand the Daily Wire, and they're with Candace, and the reason why I bring this up, because I know you have a lot of people who are Caitlin Clark fans, and you have MDT on the show, and MDT can relate to everything I'm saying, whether you're up or not. Shout out to MDT, because it's a contradiction. These people actually can't stand Erica Kirk because she stands for fakeness. She stands for the power structure. She stands for someone who lies. She stands for someone who's inauthentic. They actually think she's like a MK Ultra or a CIA plant or something like that, or someone who's experimented on. And from what I know of her and understand her, I can see that kind of like Cece, right? She looks a little off. She looks like a Manchurian Candidate type. She don't really have it going on all there, and she appears controlled. There's so many parallels to this that, and I say this for those in the audience to say, well, why are you bringing this up? Because they could cancel her overnight if they were just honest with themselves, right? They know she's a Democrat. They know she may not be what she says she is. So when they come out and say a white Christian woman, they're lying. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't have her. So Clark is not really a basketball player, or she's more so what they want to make out of her. That's what it is. The WNBA wanted to use her as a battering ram against the players in the upcoming CBA, which is why every Caitlin Clark site did not support the players, did not support Angel Reese, and did not support Unrivaled. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. All them sites that just gaslight Caitlin Clark, they did not support the players in the CBA. They hated them and ridiculed them and made fun of them and talked about, oh, this league hasn't made money, da-da-da. That's why the Caitlin Clark thing, that's why they put it in there. So when the players went and asked for their money, they could go, well, why are you guys asking for money? If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, you guys wouldn't have anything. Stephen A. said that, and other black sellouts had said that. That's what they were doing. So that was the basketball component. This other stuff, the political folks said, hey, let me get a piece of this too. So now that their base is fracturing, they want to now try to light up the base and rally up the base. And like you said, Bro Claude, what's one of the ways they're going to do it? Speaking about race. And you notice I don't always talk about race, because for me, I like to beat them on the arguments, because when you talk to a racist, as soon as you bring up race, they're gonna shut you down. So you're just wasting your time. You got to beat them other ways. But in this case, race is appropriate because this is what the Republican Party wants to do for these midterm elections. Like I said, they want to Emmett Till the women of the WNBA. So what Kathy is doing now, it obviously has nothing to do with basketball. Because if you wanted to promote the sport, you would promote Olivia Miles. If you wanted to promote the sport, you would do Paige Beckers. If you wanted to promote the sport, you would promote Angel Reese. You would promote Asia Wilson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You would essentially do what Unrivaled does. Unrivaled promotes all their players, and ultimately they'll let the cream rise to the top. I don't think I've ever spoken to a fan of the sport who had an issue with Unrivaled. The only people who have an issue with Unrivaled are those people who support that player, because as far as they're concerned, if she's not at the top echelon of anything, then they won't support it, which makes no sense, because that's not sport. You're not made the woman. You have to be the woman. That's the difference. You're not made. You have to be, and in order to be, you got to earn it and earn the respect of the team. What Angel did last night may be the ticket and may be the reason. I'm thinking of Tiffy. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of Ryan Howard while I'm saying this. What Angel did last night. Well, let me just say it, even though she's going to take shots at Smesko, because I think Smesko thought about a lot of that we talked about, because he mentioned all this when he brought Angel to the team. But I think there was a part of Smesko that said, I don't want to make a decree. I know people are going to call him weak. I don't want to make a decree and say, Angel, you do this, and that, because to a certain extent, she's new. You want the players to come to this agreement and decision as much as the coach, right? So now when Angel did what she did last night, maybe it's more comfortable for her now to do it again and say, hey, give me the ball. Hey, let me do this. Because last night she was telling people where to go. She did that on defense earlier this year, but now she's doing offense. You stay here, you go here, you go here. Maybe she wouldn't necessarily do that, 10 games ago, 5 games ago. Now she's doing it. So maybe we're at the point where we'll start to see her control more of the offense in the half court as well as in transition. We'll see. But the difference is, and I say this all the time to Clarkies, just to show you where the two people are going. Caitlin Clark, since she's been in the league, all of her coaches have tried to reduce her responsibilities. They either want her to play off the ball or play off the ball more or play the wing because she can't handle it. The turnovers, the decision making, the lack of defense. She's weak. She's not strong. She can't do the point guard responsibilities plus be good at defense and those other things. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
But every year Angel is in the league, her coaches say, hey, we want you to do this. We want you to do this. We want you to do this because they know she has that ability.
Do you really want to hear it? Do you really want to hear it?
What's that, bro?
Want to hear what I got to say?
Go ahead, bro.
I don't think the chat wants to hear it.
Uh-oh. You want to say something? You going to say something bold? A
Caitlin
badass?
Clark is a catch and shoot player. She's a roll, catch, and shoot player. Her dribbling mechanics are 1960.
Yes, I can agree with that. She reminds me of Bob Cousy with long hair. I'll agree with that.
When you seen those ones that was dribbling, she has those type of mechanics. She don't have the mechanics of a Jordan Canada. She don't have the mechanics of a Paige Beckers. Wag. Let's not even talk about Olivia Magic Miles. Let's not even do that because that's all the way out of her league. But if you just go to the different types of players with swagger, with real nice handles, she's a catch and shoot player. Can she take it in and drive? Yeah, she can. But she'll be better at the 2 than a 1. That's just me boldly saying that Caitlin Clark is better and would be better at the 2 since they claim that Kelsey Mitchell dribble. She might as well be the 1. I'm just saying, or let Kelsey be the 2, and of course Caitlin is 6 feet, right? She's 6'1", right?
So I have her play the wing.
Let her play the wing.
But the problem is her
Raven at the 1.
Here's the thing, it's so funny. There's unfortunately, and you can blame the league. Unfortunately, there's no easy way out of this. There really isn't. Me, Tiffy and Mr. 6688, Bro Claude, we've been having a friendly chatter in the chat. But the reality is there's no easy way out of this. And yes, the league has put themselves in this situation. They have a Caitlin Clark problem, but the problem is they won't tell the media. As I always say, ESPN, Yahoo, etc., they're loath to discuss any of the stuff that we're talking about because what they want to put out to the world is that she's all the things that they say she is, and you're not allowed to criticize Caitlin Clark. But the problem is that Steph White, Lynn Dunn, and all those people in the Indiana Fever, they're all down and in line with Steph White. All the Clarkies, they're resigned to Clark either leaving or having her stats reduced if Steph White plays her 25 minutes a game. Like these people say stuff like, well, she could never win MVP. We know she wasn't going to win, but in their deluded minds, she was never going to win it. She can't win MVP if she's playing 25 minutes a game and averaging 9 to 13 points a game. So think about it. If Steph White is really going to put her on this minute restriction under the guise of injury, and let's be real, she ain't got no goddamn back injury. You know how we know this?
No, we know she don't.
You know how we know this? Because with back injuries, when you're not active, your back has a propensity to stiffen up. So you would only have a player come back if they had a bad back, if they can play their regular minutes. And then the time they weren't on the court, you would like kind of like Larry Bird, you'd have them lying on the floor laterally, or you'd be doing something to their back the time that they don't play. But actually, it's better to have that player play, at least in the case of WNBA, 30 minutes a game. To have her play 15 minutes like she did 2 games ago, or to have her play 25 minutes, is actually worse for your back, meaning you should actually bring the player back when they can actually play full minutes. A back is not something you play with like that, kind of like her idiot groin injury last year. So obviously, this is for Steph White. They just have to give an excuse. So if she pulls her in 10 minutes, and she pulls her in 15 minutes, she pulls her in 25 minutes, they'll keep the peanut gallery at bay by saying, hey, she's injured. But everyone knows, no, you don't have a back injury, miss, because if you had a back injury, they would bring you back when you can play 30 minutes a game. Am I right, Tiff and Bro Claude? Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, MSL, I just remembered something. I remember the first time Caitlin got injured. I think she was actually injured. And she said, that's crazy. And she said that she doesn't do minutes restrictions, right? So the fact that now all of a sudden, a year later, she's on a minute restriction, that's a load of crap. Sorry, that's completely false, because with this back injury, yeah, they're using it to bring her less times, but they're also she's using it so that she can play into the, oh, woe is me, damsel in distress, I'm made of glass narrative. She can do whatever she wants on the court, right? If she can lean into this back injury, she can make players look like aggressive, mean, lesbians who are beating her up, like Chelsea Gray, right? And notice how when she's guarding Chelsea Gray, she falls on the ground and pretends like she's been, like she's been shanked.
Yeah, because big old, big bone, big body Chelsea Gray made her fall to the floor, right?
Right. But whenever she was jawing at DB and pushing up on DB, skinny behind, she wasn't doing all that. She was holding her ground.
Yeah, she was wrestling with DB.
Right. She was trying to start a rally over there, right? Show punk DB like she was trying to punk Angel when she gave her that hard foul the first game in Chicago last year. So I feel like, the reason that she is playing into this narrative is because she knows she can use it to her advantage. She's putting the refs in check, and she's trying to put the players in check, And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say it like it is. She did it intentionally to Chelsea Gray.
You got a super chat, Bro Claude,
to see what the response would be from her fans.
Okay. MR688 said, if Mal wins Rookie of the Year and MVP, the Clarkies are going to lose their minds. And y'all go check me out of what I said on my video. Some of you guys that still tuned in, go over there to the video and check me out. I've posted the video. Real Money, I would say this to you, Real Money. You won't watch that video because you're not a real hooper, I guess, because you don't want to hear about the actual truth of who Olivia Miles. And in this thing here, and what I'm saying on the video has to do totally about what Olivia Miles has accomplished. But you guys have drunken the Kool-Aid so much, and you're in the trap door to resent your own, to resent your greatness, resent your own black sister who is coming up. You have been drinking the Kool-Aid to resent who Olivia Miles is and what she is at this point right now. What's up, baby Jacob? Right now, that Olivia Miles is right now breaking total WNBA history. Outside of Candace Parker, we haven't seen a person that come to the league and lead their team fundamentally. And at the time, Candace Parker had a GOAT on her team. Olivia Miles ain't got no GOAT on her team. Olivia Miles have a great player on her team, but the great player that is on her team, she's injured. She has yet to go into her greatness, her MVP hood. She has yet to win an MVP. So we can't say Nafisha Collier is the MVP or a former MVP or MVP reigning right now. So she's just at a great player status for as accolades is concerned. And Olivia Miles came to that team that was navigated, that lost 7 total key piece players. 7 players that they had a rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, no. She and Steph White and her teammates have done an absolute great job. It's seamless. It's like they haven't missed, missed a beat. So kudos to the players and kudos to Cheryl Reese for putting up a team like that. They've been phenomenal.
Absolutely. So you guys, I'll just say this and I'm gonna leave it lay. The thing about the WNBA.
Oh, you were talking about Clark, bro, Claude, about where you feel she should be, and I think you were essentially saying she should either be a wing or be a shooting guard because she's not a real point guard.
I do think that the thing is this. I think that Caitlin Clark is being misplaced with the type of team that she's on and the type of player that she is. She does not have extremely good handles.
But bro, Claude, if I can say this only because Tiff brought this up and I remembered something. In this case, yes, in this case, Caitlin Clark brought on her own demise to what you're saying, because if y'all remember, and I know y'all remember, everybody thought she would be a shooting guard or a wing when she came into the league, but she insisted on being a point guard. And at that time, she had way more power than she has now because the league was essentially giving her whatever she wanted, and Steph White wasn't there. It was Christy Sides, and then Christy Sides realized right away, oh my God, she's not really a point guard, and she tried to get her to play off the ball in wing. And when Clark did it, if y'all remember, that's when she did the platoons, where she would either bench her outright to end games, or she do offense defensive switches.
But she was not the point guard for Iowa.
No, I agree. But here's the crazy thing though, bro, Claude. Here's the crazy thing. When she was 4th in the MVP and 1st team All-NBA, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. That was the machine in operation for one simple reason. Forget the shooting percentage, forget the stats, forget their record. When have you ever seen a player that's considered one of the best players in the league, mind you, MVP, who their coaches on a regular basis did not trust them enough to have them in the game to close out games? I've never seen that before. You're a half a player, 3/4 of a player, 40% of a player, but you sure as hell ain't 1st team All-NBA or an MVP type if your coach is afraid to play you to close out games. That was the craziest thing. She was being platooned or benched at the end of games in 2024 because Christy Sides either didn't trust her defense or worse, did not trust her in the half court because she didn't know how to run a half court offense for the reasons that y'all are saying, because she's really not a point guard.
So I'll just say this. And I gotta shoot it out because it's going in people's mind and popped in my mind. Yes, Neil Ivey benched Olivia Miles unnecessarily for Notre Dame on defensive plays. She did not let Olivia Miles because of her lack of trust of what MSL was saying. But she went over to TCU and showed you that Neil Ivory assessment was absolutely wrong. And now that she's in the WNBA, Neil Ivory could say, well, she's gotten better. No, you had this girl for 4 years. For 4 years, Neil Ivory. She was under you.
By the way, bro, Claude, the chat has devolved into non-basketball issues because it seems like the women in the chat would rather fantasize about other things. But I will let you talk. I just had to call them out.
Yeah, I'm not even going there. We ain't gonna put Kalani Brown on spot today. we just gonna go on here. We gonna roll.
Well, they probably fantasizing about the opposite of Kalani Brown, while you fantasize about Kalani Brown. But it's all good.
Hey, Sister Victory, how you doing, Queen? Listen, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this, and then I'm gonna go. We gotta get out of here. To sum it up, Tiffy, I'm tired and exhausted about the push of this girl, the push of what she's not. We all see it. America saw it Sunday night, and they're trying to do whatever they can. People like Real Money saw it. It's a laughing stock. He's really out. He's putting his integrity because he don't care. He don't care because it's online. So nobody sees him in his face, but they see me in my face. And my integrity means a whole lot. And what happened Sunday night showed that Caitlin Clark does not belong as the top tier.
No, she's not ready for prime time. You can't have a schizoid by bipolar acting.
Allegedly.
I said acting. So acting. Bipolar acting. Individual as your so-called face of your league. It's a travesty. It's a joke. It's not even serious. And when people like Stephen A. with his little hustling, grifting self, because if you notice, what was her name again? Neka's sister, Kyria, whatever her name is, Agumike's sister, you notice he always says
Agumike.
Yeah, Cheney. He always says dumb stuff like, you can't have, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark not in the leg, these are played silly, dumb arguments because they never discuss her basketball, or when they discuss her basketball, they speak about it like it's a foregone conclusion, or they talk about her alleged popularity and all that stuff, which we all know is a ruse, because the league did fine with her last year when she didn't play 3/4 of her game. If you notice, we all spoke about how she acted in that game. Did y'all notice, as we've discussed on your show before, Bro Card, she was lustfully booed by that audience in Las Vegas for flopping. And every place she goes in the league, they boo her. The fans don't like her no more. They don't want her no more, which is why even in Indiana, they don't want her there. The real fans, the Indiana fans, they can't stand her. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. MDT is not an anomaly. A lot of the fans actually feel that way. And y'all heard the boos when she was on the floor in Vegas. The only thing is, they're not going to tell you that on TV. They're not going to tell you. Just like how when Angel Reese didn't elbow homegirl from GSV, the announcers sat there and watched it and say she hit her in the face with the elbow, and you can freeze the frame and see there was 1 inch to 2 inches on one of her elbows and about 1 inch on the other her elbows. That's the game. That's what they do. Promote Clark, denigrate Reese. But like you said, we all have eyes. They don't like her. So then why does Kathy keep pushing her? Because it's not just about basketball. It's about control. It's about control of the women in the league with the CBA. We're now past the CBA, but now they're going to still keep pushing this, whether it's when the other players knock her off next year, or they just going to drive this car till the wheels falls off and then fire Kathy and blame her on it. And then the other component is they allowed the political stuff to get in. So they're going to push that and use her, like I said, as the woman in the Emmett Till situation by saying, all these big, strong Black and lesbian women, have done, assaulted the sanctity of this fragile white woman. It's a mess. So from that perspective, yes, I wish she would retire. Couple of things though, Bro Claude. She ain't going nowhere, because if she went overseas, nobody would care. Remember when she played FIBA last summer? There was 100 people in the stands? The only time there were actually real people in the stands was when Puerto Rico played. Other than that, there was nobody in the stands. It would be the same for Europe. The only difference is they would have to now spend millions of dollars to try to promote her to get people to believe that crap. As far as a trade, she ain't getting traded. Who's going to trade for this head case?
Las Vegas.
Who's going to trade for this head case?
Los Angeles.
That's what they want, but I don't even see LA being that dumb, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have the same problems that you have in Indiana. You remember, Bro Claude, when we spoke about Whitlock and he had that black guy they called the coach? Like, even he said to keep the vision, idiot. Even he said, but if she doesn't play defense, if she doesn't do this and she doesn't do that, if she doesn't listen to her coach, he said those things are going to be with any coach. It's not just Steph White. It's going to be with any coach. So unless the team and the coach and the franchise are okay with not winning or trying to win a championship, and you just want to have her, like a circus child that's got some mental issues, yeah, you can do that. But then your team will have no direction. The reason why Steph White got on the horn the way she did with the Indiana management is because the team wasn't going anywhere. They realized that if you had Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and a bunch of anybody's with Steph White's coaching, they could go very far. Just like how GSV can go very far with Natalie, just like how Cheryl Reese in Minnesota can go very far what they have. That's what brilliant and excellent coaching does. But if you want to put her on a team with no great coach, and guess what? No great coach is going to want to coach her. No great coach is going to want to coach. If Steph White can't get her to behave and follow orders and making a fool of herself dealing with this girl for the last 2 years, what coach? Lisa Bluder's not coming out of retirement to deal with this head case. That's a fantasy. So her going to LA is a fantasy as much as Lisa Bluder coming out of retirement. It's not going to happen. Trading her is way harder than trading Angel. Way harder, because Angel was already cultivating those relationships with other teams and the top players in the league, so they all trusted her. Remember what the GM for Atlanta said when he was asked that question in the press conference? He said, well, our best players, I forgot the exact term, but he said our best players believe in her or love her, or whatever the term he used. Ain't nobody gonna say that for Caitlin.
No, she secluded herself. She secluded, and the league secluded her. The Nike format secluded her.
Yeah, she didn't go to Unrivaled, so she couldn't build friends in Unrivaled
and things like that. So that's why it looked so awkward, guys, at the USA
trials,
the trials and the FIFA games, because she was secluded, and it was hard for her to actually. She didn't do none of those TikToks. She wasn't involved in none of the happy celebration type of things. She wasn't. You didn't see her playing around and making herself known to these other players. Yes, Paige Beckers was, teasing her and messing with, because that's just Paige Beckers' thing. But guys, I have to get up off it, because I got to get up in the morning. I have to be in the morning at 8 o'clock. I got to start a new show. So less than 8 hours, which is my labor time. I have to be right back on YouTube. But I'll tell you guys this. We have to understand that in the entirety of it all, we all have to agree that Caitlin Clark is not the top player in the WNBA.
Not even close.
Not even close. So we end with that. Me and MSL, KSAP said he wants you to take his place on Get It Off Your Chest. We're going to be running Get It Off Your Chest tomorrow. I'll give you the dip. So Get It Off Your Chest comes on at 9:30. Tomorrow we'll be on the Get It Off Your Chest.
That's 10:30 my time?
Yes, 10:30 your 9:30 Central Time, 11:30 your time, I guess, right?
So you're actually 2 zones away, Bro Club?
You in New York, right?
Yeah.
So right now it's 12 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I'm an hour behind. It's 1:30 a.m. where I am.
Okay, it's 12:30. So you 1 hour behind. So 10:30 your time.
Okay. Yep.
So turn on your notifications every time we drop a hot banger. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please give to the channel. Support the channel. Join the channel. Be a bread maker with us. We only got, guys, 70 more subscribers to go to get to 5,000. We are on our way. We're going to get there. And I appreciate everybody who supported and who came through, who also gave their opinion in the chat, because the chat matters. MSL will take it up tomorrow, 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time.
G. Carmela's already scolding me in the chat, telling me I need to be on time tomorrow, not to get the time zones confused. She's a trip.
Yeah, and the thing is that get it off your chest will continue to appear for you guys, a new channel. So make sure you go over to the channel and subscribe if you ain't subscribed, and turn on your notifications so you can know when me and MSL or me and KSAP come on and we getting it off our chest. Listen, y'all, I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate what you will do. And as always, MSL, we leave as we came with another banger. I got the most awesomest chat in the world. Hey, we gonna leave with the get it off your chest promotions, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9:30. Well, I'll see you guys in the morning at 8 o'clock.
Good night. Hit the like button for y'all go.
Be here. We gonna always show you truth, honesty, and we gonna give understanding to anything we say. We out. Love you, MSL. Appreciate it. Good show.
All righty.
Yeah. This K-Sap and Bro Claude. Welcome to the show. No filter, no rest. Get it off your chest. Talk to him. Say it with your chest. Let's go. If you got something on your mind, get it off your chest. From the locker room talk to the plays on the screen. We break down every moment, every stat, every scene. No sugarcoat now. We keep it real in the zone. From the sidelines to the headlines, we bring it home. Quarterback pressure, fourth down.